Any ads heard during this episode that are not in our voice are placed by third-party agencies. They should not be considered the opinion of or to be endorsed by Hoosier Myths and Legends.
Welcome back to the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast, where we dive into all things unexplained and spooky. I'm Becky.
And I'm Mary. In this episode of our On the Road series, we're taking you to Fouke, Arkansas.
If you've ever heard of the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek, then you've already had a taste of this story. But we're going to dive deeper than Hollywood did. The Fouke Monster, sometimes called the Southern Sasquatch or the Boggy Creek Monster, is one of the most famous Bigfoot-like creatures in the country. And it's terrified people in and around the town of Fouke, Arkansas for over a century. So sit back, relax, grab you a cup of coffee as we dive into one of America's creepiest cryptid legends.
This is one of the most interesting cryptid cases we've come across. It has all the drama, so we knew we had to share it with our listeners.
So let's start with the basics. The Fouke Monster is described as a large ape-like creature. Stands about 7 to 8 feet tall, weighs an estimated 250 to 400 pounds, and guys, it's completely covered in long dark hair. It's usually reported as walking on 2 legs, just like a human. And it's known for its glowing red eyes. And get this thing has an absolutely horrible smell.
Seriously, witnesses say it smells like a mix between a skunk and a wet dog left in the sun. So if you're out hiking near Boggy Creek and catch a whiff of that, maybe turn back.
Or you might want to go ahead and start running fast.
The earliest reported sighting goes all the way back to 1908. When a woman said she saw the creature near Mercer Bayou. But it didn't really hit national headlines until the 1970s after one family had a run-in that sounds straight out of a horror movie.
So let's talk about the infamous Ford family incident. So in May of 1971, Elizabeth and Bobby Ford had just moved into a little rental house near Fouke. Now, one night, Elizabeth was at home alone, and she noticed something reaching in through the window. Whatever it was, it had long, hairy arms.
When Bobby and his brother Don returned later that night, they said they were attacked by a large, hairy creature. Bobby even ended up in the hospital with scratches and shock. That's when the sheriff got involved, and reporters from the Texarkana Gazette started snooping around.
They even found giant 3-toed footprints outside the home. And that's a detail that keeps showing up in all of these Fouke Monster lore, those strange tracks. Unlike Bigfoot, who usually has 5 toes, the Fouke Monster leaves 3-toed prints that measure over 14 inches long.
That same summer, there were multiple reports from locals about sightings. People started patrolling the woods with shotguns and cameras. It became such a frenzy that the local sheriff actually discouraged monster hunting, worried that someone would get hurt.
So here's where the legend goes mainstream. In 1972, filmmaker Charles B. Pierce released The Legend of Boggy Creek. It's kind of a documentary and kind of a dramatization, and it's spooky in all the right ways.
And it was a hit. The film was made on a shoestring budget, but earned over $20 million in theaters. That's huge for an independent film in the early 70s. It helped to solidify the Fouke Monster as a permanent part of American folklore.
Now, the movie used real interviews from locals who spoke with complete sincerity about their terrifying encounters. Some of them didn't even want their names shared, they were that shaken.
It was a cultural phenomenon. Suddenly, Fouke became a destination for cryptid lovers, monster hunters, and even just curious travelers.
You might be wondering, has the sightings ever stopped? And the answer is no. There have been reports ever since. And some are more dramatic than others, but people still claim that the Fouke monster has been seen in the woods near Boggy Creek, especially around the Sulphur River Wildlife Management Area.
In fact, a researcher named Lyle Blackburn has written extensively about it, compiling interviews, photos of footprints, sound recordings, and maps of sightings. His book, The Beast of Boggy Creek, is a must read if you're into cryptids.
So in 1991, there was a group of campers who said that they'd saw a massive creature standing upright in the woods. And even as recently as the 2000s, there have been some new tracks found with those same large three-toed footprints that don't match any known animal.
There are even audio recordings of howls and growls echoing in the swamp at night. Researchers have compared them to known animal calls and say they don't match up with coyotes, bears, or bobcats.
So let's talk about how the town has reacted. Some folks in Fouke roll their eyes at the whole thing. They say it's just spooky stories for tourists. But there's others there who embrace it fully. They even have a place called the Monster Mart, which is basically a combination gas station, souvenir shop, and Fouke Monster Museum.
And yes, they do sell Fouke Monster t-shirts and even plush toys in case your kid needs a cuddly cryptid.
There's also the annual Fouke Monster Festival, complete with speakers, film screenings, and family activities. And it's turned this little Arkansas town into a cryptid capital.
And stories like these aren't just about monsters. They say something about our culture, about our fears, our imaginations, and the way a community responds to the unknown.
So, what exactly is the Fouke Monster? Some people say it's a type of undiscovered primate. Others think it could be some kind of a bear that has a deformity. But there are a lot of skeptics out there who point to hoaxes and misidentifications.
But if that's the case, why do people keep reporting the same things? The size, the gait, the smell, the footprints, all those details stay consistent over the decades. And that's what makes it hard to dismiss this entirely.
Whether it's a misidentified animal, a legend that's grown over time, or something truly unexplained, there is one thing for sure. The Fouke Monster has carved out a place in American folklore, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Have you ever had an experience with the Fouke Monster? Are you familiar with the legends about it? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Hoosier Myths and Legends is a Quigley Productions podcast.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car.
As always, stay spooky.